Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the new Warhammer 40,000 Battle Zone Fronteris terrain. This article just popped up on the Warhammer community site, letting us know about some new terrain that's going to be released later this year. So I thought it'd be fun to do a quick video because it's some pretty cool terrain here. So let's have a look at it up close and go through all the details. So here are the images that we first get to see in the article, and it tells us that these are a set of brand new defensive structures, and this is called Battle Zone Fronteris. And the idea with this is it's for like a frontier world, or as it says in the article, to add some more militaristic utility to your existing gaming table. So a nice idea. I like the way that's playing out alongside this new Warzone Nachmund. So I think this is going to fit in with the whole narrative really well, and it looks pretty cool. So let's have a look at each piece in a bit more detail. And here's the first piece. So this is a landing pad, I imagine, or it could be part of like a Haba Bunker cross landing pad. So this is the first piece. Looks like a nice chunk to put on the table, and looking at the miniatures, probably about 9 inches long, maybe by 6 inches, perhaps a little bit bigger than that. It looks like we've got some tanks to each side, lots of control panels, so lots of nice textures there to paint up. I imagine this will be pretty quick to paint as well. Solid colour, dry brushing, bit of weathering, and then picking out all those nice details. Then this next piece, this looks like to be the Stc Haba Bunker. So we can see we've got the door there. Again, lots of control panels, dials, a bit of a barrier at the top that's going to give some cover. So another chunky piece. I guess it's going to be around the same size, maybe 9 by 6, maybe a touch bigger. But looks really good. I love all the details on this. And I think nice to paint. I really enjoy painting the terrain, almost more than the miniatures, I think. But yeah, so always interested to see what terrain's coming out. And this is interactive as well. It's going to really play in the game, which I think is fantastic. And we'll have a look at the different rules that come with it a little bit later on in the video. It says there's going to be a selection of stockades, but we get to see this picture up close. So if there's a few of these, you could almost imagine setting it up as that frontier defence, almost like a lone fort. And I like that idea too. That's something I was thinking for my Space Wolves that I would be putting together with their kind of ice fort. So yeah, I'm really into that idea of building something that's in the frontier and you've got to hold off the enemy with your army. So yeah, really cool idea. I believe this next piece is the Spec Shrine, and this looks to be a great vantage point, some nice height there. Looks like you can get about 8 or 9 miniatures high this, so that's a really good size if you measure it up against a Primaris model. So yeah, really liking this, really interesting piece, and I think it certainly fits in with it all. So yeah, love this. And then my favourite from this is the Vox Antenna. So this would be perfect in a mission if you had to get to this and blow it up or something like that. I think it would be really fun. So a really nice centrepiece. I like how they've painted that top part white as well. That's really interesting and works really nicely when you look at all the other colours, the greys and like the turquoise and the yellow. Just to have that white there really stands out. So yeah, I like this piece the best for sure. Then we get a few more details to look at, so we get some close-ups of all these doors. This looks like the top-down view of the landing bay, and then all the different parts that they'll treat with some nice weathering, I think would come really well. And then this stockade part, if you can fence that around it, I think it's going to be brilliant. The Spec Shrine with some nice details too. So all up, but some great pieces, I think. Nice 2 big chunky bits to pop in the middle and then a little bit of height as well. And hopefully you can arrange it, maybe some bits on top of it to get even more height. So I'd be interested to see some pictures of it all laid out together. So it says there's going to be some of this that's going to work well for blocking line of sight and things like that. And also that it would fit into another existing terrain collection. I can certainly see that being the case. Have this as like almost one area of terrain on the board and then some other elements from different sets or stuff you've made your own as well. There's going to be some terrain specific crusade agendas found in Vigilus alone, and they've included some of those here, so let's have a look at them. So the idea with these is it's going to give your units extra experience points and add to the narrative for the war for Vigilus. So let's have a look at the first one, and it's called Transmit Signal. And it tells us here that character units from your army can perform the following action. At the end of your movement phase, one character unit from your army that is on a Vox Antenna terrain feature and not within engagement range of enemy models can start to perform this action. This action is completed at the end of your turn. If completed, that model is said to have transmitted a signal. Each time this action is completed, roll 1d6, subtracting 1 from the result if any Theatre of War Fronteris abilities are in effect. On a 4+, that signal is acknowledged by the recipient. Then at the end of the battle, each unit that has transmitted any signals gains 1 experience point, and if any of those signals were acknowledged by the recipient, that unit gains 2 additional experience points. So that's a nice way to build up those experience points, and I really like how the terrain plays a real big part in the narrative of this. So this is what I really like, but I could certainly imagine creating some missions of my own around this terrain, especially around that antenna. The next one is hidden supplies, and here you can find some extra cargo, and so this can give you an edge in the game. And this is called hidden supplies, and at the end of the movement phase, one unit that is on top of this terrain feature and not within engagement range of any enemy models can attempt to access the cargo hold. And you roll 1d6, then on a 5+, that unit finds additional supplies. And until the end of the turn, each time a model in that unit makes a range attack, you add 1 to that attack's hit roll. So I really like this. This is great. Really worth doing. And if you're playing some ranged units, maybe you've got some eliminators in there, adding 1 to that attack hit roll, it's going to be a great bonus. You can also use the Spec Shrine to download propaganda, and this is going to help with combat attrition tests and make them easy to pass. So this is called download propaganda, another action, and at the end of your movement phase, 1 character unit from your army that is within 1 inch of an Spec Shrine, terrain feature, and not within engagement range of any enemy models can start to perform this action. This action is completed at the end of your shooting phase, and if completed until the start of your next turn, while a unit is within 6 inches of the terrain feature, each time a combat attrition test is taken for that unit, you ignore any or all modifiers. So this could be really helpful in keeping your models in the fight and keeping them on the battlefield. So a nice mix there, and they've given us 3, so I wonder just how many there will be altogether, but great to see a little insight on how you can use the terrain as part of the battle feature. So it says that this is going to be released later this year as part of the new season of Warhammer 40,000, and so we know each season is going to last 6 months, so hopefully we'll be pretty soon within that, and we'll get it quite quick because it looks really great, and I can really imagine adding this to the battlefield and creating some narratives around it. I think it's really fun, and there's some really nice details in there, but I'd love to know what you think about it, so let me know in the comment section below. Is this something that appeals to you? Could you imagine adding this to your collection? And what about price? Is it going to be £90 for this set? Hopefully it won't be that much, and we'll get a bit more of the stockade features. Also, haven't seen any boards for it, so bear that in mind with the cost, but I'd love to know what you think about it and how much you think this is going to cost. I hope you enjoyed seeing this new terrain, and if you liked it, please give the video a like, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.